Welcome to CBN Sports One-on-One, where you'll hear exclusive interviews with some of the biggest names in sports right here on the CBN Sports Podcast Network. I'm your host, Will Dawson. If you're like most of us and love sports, but you're tired of the dark side of sports culture, me-focused athletes, or even organizations that bow to an unbiblical belief system, you're going to love this podcast. There's no yelling, no sensationalism, just great conversations with athletes and coaches who recognize that their purpose is bigger than their sport. This week, our guest is Pittsburgh Pirates Phenom prospect shortstop Konnor Griffin. I spoke with the 20-year-old about his life as a young husband, the pressure of being baseball's next superstar, and what he sees as his personal identity. Let's jump right in. Konnor, I know family is very important to you. You grew up with two brothers at home. Do you think that family structure was something that you recognized at the time as being something that was really important to you?
Yeah, I would say so. We've always had a close family. Got two brothers, got mom and dad, and we always talk about having a small circle, and those are my people, and that's who I trust. That's who I lean on with anything through life. And so having a strong family structure is super important to me, and I look forward to building that same type of structure with my wife and our future family.
Speaking of your wife, do you think that's why, maybe because they set that example for you, that you got married as early as you did?
Yeah, for sure. We wanted to travel together. I wanted her to be here during this crazy season of my life, and we wanted to do it the right way and get married, so we could live together and do all that. So it's been a big blessing having her by my side, just to go home to a clean house and a place that actually feels like a home. It's just part of that structure that I need, and it helps me be able to do my job and just be who I am on the field, and get to come home and try to be the best husband I can be too.
That's awesome, man. We're in 2026, and the average age for men to get married is 30. You guys started dating at what? In high school, how old were you, 14?
Yeah, 13, 14. It was 8th grade, so it's a pretty cool story that we have.
It is a cool story. And so how do you know? I mean, I guess it would be like anybody, you're telling anybody at 13, 14. When did you know that you wanted to get married?
Yeah, I'd say it started out as like just a middle school relationship. And then by the time we entered high school, 9th, 10th grade, like I could really tell, like, this is my person, this is my best friend, this is who I want, to enjoy the rest of this life with. And so I feel like I was talking to her parents at, when I was like 16, 17 years old, telling them, like, hey, I want to marry her, and I want to marry her as quick as I can once I graduate high school, because, with all the baseball stuff, it can be a lonely path if you don't have your partner with you. And so I wanted her to be right by my side, and she sacrificed a lot to be here, kind of, giving away the college, the in-person college experience, just to, be able to be here with me, supporting me. So, like I said, it's just a big blessing to have her here.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, faith is something that's been hugely important in your life as well. What did that look like for you growing up?
Yeah, my family, we always were going to church and went to Wednesday night church as a kid, and faith was the most important thing in our family. And my parents did a great job of preaching the word to us, and always having the word on their lips, and just the music they were listening to, like, it was always faith driven. And it was put in my heart that, like, that's how we need to live as humans, is living for Jesus and trying to live like Jesus did. And so I learned that at a young age, and kind of been able to keep that going as I have become an adult, and really taken on my faith personally, and trying to find churches in new cities, and trying to keep that the most important thing.
A lot of us, many of us who grow up in Christian homes have that experience where it's the environment, it's the air that we breathe, but then at some point when you're off in the world on your own, you have to kind of make it your own.
Yeah.
When did that happen for you specifically?
I would say I got drafted to come play baseball. I got sent to Florida, and that was the first time I had been away from home and in a new community. And you have a choice. You're either going to continue to pursue the Lord and find a church, find a new community to grow your faith in, and or you just kind of get passive and say, well, I can just wait a few months and then I'll go to church when I get back home. But for me, it was I tried to make the decision like, hey, this is the most important thing in your life. You gotta continue to pursue the Lord, and so that's when I kind of first made that decision, is right when I left home for the first time.
Lots of guys playing baseball, playing any sport, go through adversity, whether it be playing time, injury, any of that. You've had such success for so many years. I mean, have you dealt with adversity at this level? You're still a young guy. You got a lot of years to go, but I mean, even internally, personally, what's the biggest source of adversity that you've experienced in your life?
I've experienced a lot over the years. I know there's been a lot of success, and that's all glory to the Lord. And but there's been some tough days and some hard times missing home. Like last year, I wasn't married and was having to do it on my own and missed home. So just the emotions, like I really just tried to lean on the Lord. And if there was tough games, like that's where I found my peace, is knowing that I feel like I'm called to play baseball, but at the end of the day, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is living my life to share the word, share the gospel, and live in eternity in heaven. And that just brought such peace to me through the times of adversity, and helped me kind of separate my identity from being a baseball player to being a Christian and a believer trying to share the word.
I expect, like a lot of people do, because your ceiling is so high and because there's so much hype around who you are and who you'll become someday in Major League Baseball. How do you deal with that hype, with the media, with fans, et cetera?
Yeah, I try to use it just to make a positive impact on the people around me. I got a lot of eyes on me, a big platform, and I just try to use it the best way I can to glorify the Lord. And something I've always done is my walk-up song is called "Nobody" by Casting Crowns, and it talks about how I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody all about somebody who saved my soul. And I feel like that's a cool way for me to kind of share the word every time I go up to hit. So with a lot of hype, like I said, it tries to I feel like the devil tries to tell you like that's all that matters. That's your identity, is being this great baseball player. But it just brings me peace knowing that I don't have to worry about that. I just stay in the word, try to live like Jesus, and that's all that matters.
I'm sure you think of too just how fragile life is, circumstances, that it can be taken away from you at any time. Does your walk with Christ then kind of help you put that in perspective?
Yeah. I mean, try to never take this game for granted, because, like you said, it can be taken away at any time. But there's peace knowing that if it is taken away, it's just what God called you to do. It's just the path He wants you to go down, and it would probably be tough and it'd probably be hard to come to realization like this time is over, but there's such peace in knowing that the Lord has a plan for you, and we're called to just trust His plan. And it's harder said than done, but there's a lot of peace that comes with that.
As a 20-year-old, a month into your first Major League Baseball season of your hopefully long career, what do you want to accomplish professionally?
I want to. There's a lot. There's numbers you want to chase after. You want to be a Hall of Fame player, and I think my goal is just to make a positive impact on every teammate I play with, every fan I play in front of. Like I just want to make a good impact, leave a good legacy. That this guy played baseball because he was called to. He felt called to play this game, and he's been blessed. And just to glorify the Lord every time I step on the field. That's how I want to be known.
You're a competitor, or you wouldn't be where you are today. You work hard, you put in the work, you've got the talent, the skills, and all of that. Do you want to be the best player that's ever played the game? Or, is that something that you think about?
Yeah, I want to I want to, just really just take it day by day and see what happens. But like I said, I feel like I'm called to play this game, and I've been given skills, so I don't want to let those skills go to waste. I want to work hard. I want to train hard and prepare the best way I can every single day to go out there and then do what I love to do and play this game competitively and play it hard, and just at the end of the day put the trust in God's hands, and he'll take care of the outcomes. But every day I'm going to train and prepare to try to be the best player that's ever played, and that's the mindset I'll always have.
Last question for you, and it's the faith aspect. Well, it's a two-part question here. What is the gospel, and what does it mean to you personally?
Yeah, the gospel to me is, the words of Jesus. Everything you need to know about life is written in the Bible, and there's nowhere else you need to look for that except in the Bible. And for me, it's trusting in the Lord's plan, and trusting that His words are what we need to follow and how we need to follow them. And if you do that, then your life will be filled with a lot of joy and happiness, and you're not chasing after worldly things. You're chasing after the things that Jesus told us to do.
The day we shot this interview, Konnor recorded the first 4-hit game of his career. This Pirates team has a core group of guys who are solid believers and contributors to the team. So we'll be watching Konnor's growing career, and if you want a fun and scrappy team to follow this summer, check out the Pirates as they battle for their first ever NL Central title. It's hard to believe. And their first division title since 1992, a long time ago. Look, these conversations are meant to be conversation starters. And if you know someone who might benefit from hearing some of their heroes proclaim their faith in Christ, please share this podcast. Go ahead and subscribe. Our goal is to reach the world with the gospel through the platform of sports. We'll see you next week.